Um, Just to let you know, there is a Twitter stream for this webinar, and all our other webinars we also tweet as they're going. The hashtag is Digital Ready Webinar that you can see on the screen here. If you'd like to tweet, or if someone in your staff or a friend would like to tweet this webinar at the same time, please do feel free. And if you put the hashtag Digital Ready Webinar that you can see here, we'll all be able to see it later on when we go back to Twitter. And if you would also like to see any of our previous webinars, they're all on Twitter under this hashtag. Of course, if you need any help, or if what I'm saying is gibberish to you, feel free, of course, to give us a call or email us for some help with Twitter. More than happy to help you at any time. Okay, so let's get started. Just before we start, can I just double check that everyone can hear me okay? If the volume is all right, I've got you on automatic mute so that we don't kind of distract each other with our background noise. Can you please just click the little hand icon that you should see on your control panel so I can check that everyone can hear me? And I have unmuted my, yep, there's one hand, great, thank you. Yep. Okay, so 2 people can hear me okay. If you can hear me, just click the little hand icon so that I know that we're all okay. Just waiting for a couple more. Okay, great. So let's get started. Yes, one other thing. I normally have a slide about this, but this presentation doesn't have it. If you would like to ask a question at any time, please do feel free. There is a little questions text box in your control panel that you can see. You can type your question there, and I will get a little question mark come up on my screen, and I will do my best to answer them as we go. If I don't get to you during the webinar, please do feel free to stay on the line afterwards if you have time. If not, then I can certainly email you the answer to the question later on today or tomorrow. So feel free to ask questions at any time. More than happy to take them as we go. If I can't answer them, I can find someone that can, I'm sure. Okay, so let's begin. So at the end of this webinar, you will be able to understand the Australian digital landscape, what's going on online, a little bit about market segmentation, defining your market, a little bit about campaign copywriting and using effective imagery. You'll be able to think critically about your website and the online marketing to make sure that once you've driven people to your website using the campaign that it's actually easy for them to buy from you, and a little bit on why it's important to measure your campaigns, and we'll explore some basic online measurement tools. Okay, so we're going to talk about the landscape. We're going to talk about your market, your products, and what offer you might have in a campaign. Your what makes effective web copy and imagery. Your website. A little bit about online marketing, and a little bit about measurement. So what's happening in Australia online? Well, uptake of internet use in Australia is extremely high. We are very tech savvy in Australia compared to most other countries. 75% of Australians online monthly. Just excuse me while I deal with this. Sorry, for some reason we get that from time to time doing a webinar. It's gone now. 70% of Australians are active online monthly. That's 3/4 of Australia is busy online. So that's really quite big. Per capita, we're the biggest social media users in the world. We spend more time on social media per month than any other country, even the US, even the UK. And 74%, again, nearly 3/4 of us tap into other consumers' opinions. So recommendations, ratings, reviews are very important when people are making purchase decisions. We're quite mobile. In August 2013, there were 815 million mobile page impressions in Australia. So a lot more people are looking at websites and the internet on either their tablet or their smartphone, which obviously has implications for how you market and how you arrange your website. And we're always connected. We're accessing the internet for work, home, on the go, on PCs, tablets, phones and TVs. And the other interesting thing is people are often at home doing what we call multi-screen behaviour. 6 in 10 people have used the internet while watching TV, so sitting watching the telly, maybe with your iPad or your phone on your lap at the same time, flicking between the 2 screens. So these are the sorts of things that are going on in the Australian digital landscape today. Most importantly, mobile is growing. You can see the graph trend from January 2012 to August 2013, and you can see it's a constantly average upward trend. So the use of mobile devices, the use of smartphones and PCs is growing as opposed to desktop, as we've said. Mobile usage, mostly it is still computer, but mobile is now a third of usage, and tablets are an additional part of that. So quite a substantial amount, about 40%. So nearly half usage is either a tablet or a smartphone. So when you are thinking about your campaign, thinking about any of your digital activity, don't forget about mobile because it's really important. In short, online is everywhere in Australia. Mobile's growing, Australians are social media advertising is growing. Social, local and mobile are the three things to think about: social media, local search and mobile search. But most importantly, consumers want to say and now have the means to have one. So let's have a look, now that we know what's going on in the landscape, what's happening with your market, your products and your offer. And I want to talk to you a little bit about targeting and segmentation, if you're not familiar with this, and why targeting and segmentation is important. When you're starting any kind of campaign, including this one, it's important to sit down and think to yourself, who is my market? Who do I want to respond to this campaign? Is it a backpacker market, so quite young and probably budget conscious and after adventure, or is it more like a grey nomad market who might be more after a more gentle experience? Is it more of a luxury market? Is that what my product is suitable for? Is that who I'm going after? So people that want 5-star treatment? Or is it more of a family market perhaps, where they might want self-catering and they might want things that are safe for the children to do and things to keep the kids entertained and all those sorts of things. So sit down and think before the beginning of any campaign, who is my market? Who do I want to reach? A lot of the time when I ask this question in workshops, people say, my market's everyone. And it may be that you have a very broad spread, but try and narrow it down, because the more you can narrow down your market, the more effective your time and your money, your effort and time and money spend will be, because you're not doing a scattergun approach. You're trying to reach a particular audience and your messages are going to resonate with them. So here's an example of one Brisbane market. And the market segments that Tourism and Events Queensland have defined, and you don't have to follow these, but sometimes it's easy to get your head around this group. You might prefer to go through the standard demographic stuff like women between 25 and 34 who are tertiary educated and are do a holiday once a year or something like that. By all means, use whatever segmentation criteria is familiar to you and that you're comfortable with. These are just some that we make you aware of that TEQ has on our website that you might want to consider. And we've divided them into, it's not really about age and income and sex and anything like that. It is more about what they're looking for in a holiday experience and what type of people they are. So there's 8 segments, 6 on TEQ website and 2 from Events Queensland as well. They also have these 2 market segments as well. And they are active explorers, stylish travellers, self-discoverers, unwinders, connectors, social fun seekers, visible achievers and socially aware. Now I've put a link here on the TEQ website that will give you a definition of each of these markets and a big description of them. There's videos there, there's a PDF about them, what they're like, that you can read and what they're looking for in a holiday, or you can watch a video, there's photos. There's a huge amount of information behind this link that can tell you all about these markets and what they're looking for in a holiday, what is important to them, what experiences they're looking for, what products they're after, and you can do a bit of a match and see which ones might be suitable for you or which ones you might want to go after for this campaign. Those are, the TEQ website is for the first 6 on this list, and the roymorgan.com link is for visible achievers and socially aware. So by all means, after this webinar or during it, if you want to do 2 things at once, by all means pop onto one of these websites, look for the different target market descriptions that they've got there, and try and understand which one might suit your product and your situation the best, or which one might be suitable for you to target in this campaign or any other campaigns. Here's just a quick summary of the most frequent ones. The largest ones for Southeast Queensland, or for Queensland, are what we call connectors and social fun seekers. These are the most common markets, and you might find yourself nodding when I start to describe these people, because they might be familiar, the sort of people that you know already book with you. So connector market, the holidays are about bonding with family and friends. This segment is most likely to holiday in their home state and drive to their destination. And social fun seekers, hang on, I've just got a note. I might just check that everyone can still hear me. bear with me a sec. Is the volume okay, everyone? Can you just raise your hands again and let me know that you can hear me, or alternatively, if you can't, type it in the yeah, we're still okay? Okay. I don't want you not to be able to hear me. Right, let's continue then. Question. Just bear with me a sec. Yes. Okay, thank you. Great. Okay, and the other one is social fun seekers. As I said, this is the other most common and I guess larger market in southeast Queensland, which is they're kind of the party people. So connectors are possibly more like a family group. Social fun seekers more like the party people. Look for lots of activity and plenty of people to share the fun with. They're always seeking new destinations and will often look overseas. Now, there is a heap more information on both these markets and many more on TEQ website and the Roy Morgan website. So perhaps after this webinar, take a couple of minutes to log on to this link, as I've said. You can just go to the TEQ homepage and it will just click on marketing, and you'll be able to find them from there. Not hard to find. Again, if you have any trouble at all or you're not sure which market you should be targeting or which is the right one for you, again, by all means, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. More than happy to help you clarify that. So connectors and social fun seekers are I guess, the largest and the most frequent markets in southeast Queensland. But you may be a different kettle of fish and you might have a different market. So have a look and see which one is closest to yours. The other thing to think about is how suitable is my offering, my product for this market. And one of the ways that we can do this is to have a look at this matrix here, which basically has a number of what they call hero themes, so experiences, if you like, that people can do in Brisbane. So there's wining and dining, there's bars and nightlife, shopping and fashion, natural landscapes and wildlife, active adventure, tours and sightseeing, heritage and architecture, arts, live music, sport and rec. And think to yourself, which of these do I have? Which do I do well? And if I don't have them now, could I easily create them? Do they fit well with my product? Am I a shopping destination? Or do I have a great restaurant or a really good bar, or am I in a street that has really good wining and dining? Or is it more about sightseeing? Is it more about heritage? Have I got, a great museum? Am I a great museum? Is it more about the arts? Am I more of an arts venue, or is my area known for the arts more? Or is it more about live music and bands? Or is it more about getting out amongst it and doing active adventure stuff? So have a think about which of these might apply to you. And then these are the answers that people from these particular markets, social fun seekers, connectors, socially aware, visible achievement, traditional family life, have, these are the answers that people have given to surveys as to what they're interested in, and where they have ticked it, it's yes, typically engage in this type of activity. Where it's a question mark, well, when it meets my needs, I'll do this stuff. And where it's across, no, I don't do that. So, for example, social fun seekers are definitely interested in wining and dining, bars and nightlife, shopping and fashion, active adventure, live music, sport and rec. Not so much heritage and architecture, maybe the arts, maybe natural landscapes and wildlife. So if you have all these things and you know you're really good at them, or even some of them, then there's an opportunity here perhaps for you to attract this market. Whereas if you don't have most of these things that they've ticked, perhaps you should look at another market. Like, for example, connectors like wining and dining, but not so much bars and nightlife or active adventure. Sorry, excuse my voice. They're more into tours and sightseeing, connecting with each other, maybe going shopping together. Sorry, just excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Natural landscapes and wildlife. So have a look at this matrix and think to yourself, what have I got on the left-hand side down here, and which one of those things that I have matches which market, which has got the most ticks. And that might be a really great clue for you to decide what market segment might be coming to you already, or that you might want to go after. So again, a little bit on market segmentation. What have I got? Which of these groups is going to be interested in what I've got? Okay, it's connectors, so I'll go after the connector market with my messaging and my imaging and my campaign. So that's basically determining your market. So market segmentation, defining who you're going to go after as clearly as you can, narrowing it down, not trying to reach everyone because everyone's time and marketing budget is limited. And if you define very clearly who you're going to go after, social fun seekers or connectors or socially aware or visible achievement, traditional family, whoever. If you decide you're going to go after one or more of these segments, then you can make your messaging, the things you tell people, your product, your offer, if you do a special deal, your photos, your taglines, even your platforms that you choose, the channels that you choose to market through, you can make sure that the people that you're targeting are going to respond to what you're saying. There's no point in saying we have fabulous accommodation for families, for example, to a social fun seeker market, because they're not families normally and they're not really after family stuff. That might be more suitable for a connector market. Similarly, there's no point in saying party till you drop to a connector market, because they're more about spending time with family and friends, maybe a great party for a family occasion or something, but not so much partying every night at a nightclub. So if you carefully segment who you're targeting, you can make sure that your imagery and your campaign, your messaging and your imagery and everything else and your offer is suitable for that particular market and therefore likely to be more successful. Okay, so then thinking about, we've decided who we're going to market to, making a deal or an offer. And as I've said, know your customer, what they value. Is it about price? Is it about value adds? Is it about luxury? Is it about being treated as a returning customer and being pampered? What does your customer value? What is an attractive offer to them? And the other thing about offers is experiences can be really great. I mean, a lot of us go for a discount first up automatically, you know, 50% off to stay pay, you know, stay 3, pay 2, that sort of thing. But it's hard to come back from discounting. And so I know it's kind of easy to do, but sometimes it might be really good to perhaps offer a value add instead of or as well as a discount. So when your customers are only concerned, if you know your customer only cares about the price and nothing else, then a discount might be your best option. When you don't have any other options, then you can discount. But one of the things that we try and get you to think about is value adding your deal offer. Do this as often as possible and think about what you could offer for free, hopefully that won't cost you anything or not too much, that you could throw into the deal. So what do I mean by that? So an offer adds value and is not all about price. Be different or be dead. Memorable experiences are about creating value. Value is the defining factor. When there's no difference in value, people will buy on price alone, and you can only compete on price for so long, but you can compete on value forever. So the main point of showing you this slide is that if your deal or offer in your campaign is all about a discount or all about the price, then you're competing with everybody else that's offering a discount. However, if you can value add and offer something, particularly if it's unique, that no one else can add, and we'll come to what that might be in a minute, particularly if it's unique that no one else can add, then that, if you like, gives you the edge. So you're no longer competing on price with everybody else, and then it just comes down to who can offer the cheapest price. But if there are other things that you can put into your campaign offer that you can add in through your expertise or assets that you have, then that will set you apart from the competition. So it's really good to think about that. So what do I mean by value adding? What do I mean by value adding rather than discounting, using experiences? So, for example, here we have a bunch of grapes, which is what we call a commodity, okay, which would be similar to a discount. And then, but if we do a little bit with the grapes and make it a bottled wine, it becomes goods. And if we offer a wine tasting as well for a winery, it becomes a service. And if we offer something like Meet the Winemaker, Learn to Pair Wines with Food, that's an experience. And experiences are the things that are really hard to compete, for people to compete with you on. And they are the things that add the most value, and more importantly, they're the things that people remember. Oh, I so remember that holiday. We had such a great time fishing. We had such a good time there. I'm going to go back there. So if you can create memorable experiences with your target market, people will remember it and be more likely to come back. Whereas if you're just offering a commodity like grapes, like a discount, like, you know, something that is easy to get and everybody else can offer too, it's going to have less value, even though it may not cost so much, if you see what I mean. So it's really good to think about what do I have, what could I offer as part of my campaign deal that could be a great experience. And some examples, Some of the things, one of the venues that I used to go to offered a mangrove walk at 5 o'clock. It was an accommodation venue, and one of their staff members had expertise in mangroves, and she loved to talk to people. So every day at 5 o'clock she would meet everyone just at the office and just take them on a walk through the mangroves behind the accommodation and point out everything, and we just learnt so much, and we thought that was great because it didn't cost them anything. It was a really nice experience because she clearly loved what she was doing, and it was a great value add for, I mean, we'd already bought the accommodation, but it was so great to have that. Similarly, you might want to think of perhaps could you use partner deals, perhaps pair with other organisations that are not your competitors and put together an attractive package that way. For example, an accommodation venue that we stay with in New South Wales for the snow has a 15% off deal with one of the ski shops in town, and that's something that you might have already done or might already have in place. But it's good to think who do I know, and who could I partner with to make an attractive deal for me and for them, and it's a bit of a win-win because obviously the accommodation venue gets accommodation and the ski hire shop, which is in a very competitive situation, gets customers sent directly to them, so that can be good. So if you are a restaurant, could you partner with an accommodation venue or a parking venue? If you're a tour operator, could you partner with an accommodation venue and put together a package? If you're a BYO restaurant, could you partner with, I don't know, a local bottle shop? Try to think, how can I partner with people in my local area that are not competitors to me, and we can work together to put together a really attractive package that will appeal to our target market. Obviously make sure it's going to appeal to the market segment that you've selected as well. So what could you offer that your market will value? Tangibles versus intangibles is the sort of thing to think about. So as I've said, some kind of discount, some kind of partner offer, free bottle of wine on arrival, talk about things that might be suitable for families. If you have something that kids will love, like free kayak hire between 4 and 5, I don't know, you know, whatever you can think of that you can throw into the deal to make a really nice package for whatever your target market will value. And as I said, intangibles, tours of the mangroves, expert advice, getting a chance to meet the chef or meet the vintner, see behind the scenes, can be great in getting people to really love your venue and come back. Tangibles are good too if you don't have an intangible, but just think to yourself, what have I got in my staff, in my organisation? Have I got a beautiful view? Have I got great expertise? Have I got a beautiful asset right next to me like a lake or something that I could tap into and offer as part of my deal? So that's another good thing to think about when you're putting together your campaign offer. Another thing that to think about is, does the offer suit you or the customer? So often we see the restrictions on a deal, like, you know, minimum stay, so it must be a minimum of 7 nights, something like that, or it's midweek only, or extra charges for children and extra guests. And while we understand that you you're trying to, you know, fill inventory, or you know, you need to make sure that children and everything are paid for, often this doesn't suit the customer. So think to yourself, you know, when you're putting restrictions on, think about your customer. Is it a family market? Okay, if it's a family market, can they get there midweek? Probably not. If it's a couples market, it might be more likely that they can. So think about any restrictions or extra charges or things that you're putting on there. How can I do this so that it will really suit my market and not just me? Obviously it does have to suit you, but we're trying to also attract a new bunch of customers as well. So check the restrictions that you put on and make sure you're not kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face, as it were, and putting restrictions on that are going to stop people from booking. So, as I said, have a little think about what are some things that you could offer as value adds to your campaign deal. What special includes, special bonuses, unique features or services, key competitive advantages do you have that could be included? Can you partner with an organisation? Can you offer expertise of a staff member? Have you got a beautiful view, or have you got a wonderful person who can tell you about a piece of information that they can't get anywhere else, like the vintner or the chef? What could you include that is preferably unique to your organisation, or who could you partner with to offer a value add to your campaign deal? So it's not always about the discount. Okay, so we've talked about the landscape, we've talked about market segmentation, products and our offer. Let's have a little look at how to make our website effective. Once we put together a fabulous deal and we've put it out through channels that we know people will respond to and we've got traffic coming to our website, of course we've spent all this time and effort getting people to come. Of course we don't want them to not be able to find or not be able to book or not be able to find the offer. So let's have a little look at that. Now, we do have a Writing for the Web webinar in a couple of weeks. I think it's in about 3 or 4 weeks that I'll be giving. If you haven't attended my Writing for the Web workshop or attended the webinar before, by all means register for this one, which will go into a lot more detail on writing effective web copy. For now, I'll just give you some very quick tips. Mainly, people don't read every word online. They will skim and scan the page. So if you have a great long piece of copy, it's very daunting for them. So you need to help them scan. And how do we do this? Very short sentences, no or few unnecessary words, what we call tight copy, 50% less. So take out all the unnecessary words, the hype, the stuff that isn't completely necessary. Use visual cues like headings, links, bullet points, lists to stand out on the page, because anything like a heading or a link or a bullet point or a list will stand out on the page and help the user to have somewhere to rest their eyes, if you like. And white space is great. Use lots of spaces between your paragraphs and things so it's easy to read. So direct, clear style, no hype or waffle is really good. And compelling calls to action. I've got a little one here that says act now. So book now, find out more, book campaign deal now. Tell them what to do and make sure it's compelling. Good calls to action, they're the strongest and easiest element to find on the page. Ideally, you would want a primary and secondary one, so book for people who are ready to buy if they've already been convinced. Find out more for people who are not quite ready to book and just might want a bit more information. Tell them what to get when they click, conveys urgency, ease or value. So here are some examples that I've come across when doing website reviews. Tell them what you want them to do. Book, check availability, or find out more information. Clear, direct, succinct, exact. So good, book now, check availability, find out more, contact us, watch a video. Okay, so all very active, all very direct. It's not rude to write in this style. It's just direct and people will know what to do because a lot of the time they're only kind of half concentrating on the web and so they'll look for things that will tell them what to do, and so if you do that you'll be more successful. Ones I've seen that don't work so well: manager, details, extras, location, click here. Avoid these ones if you can and try and make them much more active and telling the reader what to do in your call to action. This is the link that's going to click through to your hopefully booking page, so you really want them to do that. So something that's a bit passive like click here or extras or manager is not going to work so well as book now, find out more, check availability, contact us, those kind of things. So make sure your call to action. At the end, tell them what to do. Use a compelling call to action so that they'll know what to do. I also want to just touch briefly on tone of voice. Again, we do talk a lot more about this in the Writing for the Web webinar and why it's important to have a consistent tone. Okay, figure out who you are, then do it on purpose, Dolly Parton. So Dolly Parton is all about the Dolly Parton brand. She knows who she is. She's got the white hair and the dress and the sequins and the voice and everything else. And she does that 100%, and you would never see her in public without that because that is what we call her brand. And her brand tone of voice is kind of Southern American, very warm, very friendly, bit of a sense of humour. It's important to figure out what your tone of voice is and make sure that the words you use, the images you use and anything else you use is consistent. Even the fonts on your website should all be consistent with your brand. So if you are a 5-star venue, you might have quite a different tone to a backpacker, cheap and cheerful kind of venue. If you're an adventure tour operator, you might have quite a different tone to a luxury chauffeur service or something like that. Important to be consistent throughout. Here's 2 examples. For example, these are writing tone of voice. Here's the top one. I'll just read it to you. Readability, which is the name of the company, readability is growing fast and looking to add a whip-smart developer or 2 to our nimble, talented team. Are you a crack Python dev, a self-starter with a broad range of talents? Are you interested in shaping the future of content and having a little fun along the way too? Drop us an email with your resume and a few code samples and let's get talking. Okay, so that's aimed at one particular market, which is young people who are very good at website developments, okay, and notice that it's informal, it's got some slang, it's got some industry jargon in there, it's very direct, and it's quite quick, if you know what I mean. As opposed to the one down the bottom, luxury beach and countryside retreats in Australasia. Shop for antiques and order high tea in the Blue Mountains outside Sydney. Follow bushwalks through coastal rainforest in the Daintree in northern Queensland and have a dune-fringed stretch of golden sand to yourself at Margaret River. Okay, so I won't read the rest of it, but you can see the difference of tone between the two. One's very casual and kind of fast and aimed at young people. The other one is quite kind of persuasive and uses a lot more words and aimed at quite a different market. So this is what I mean about tone of voice. When you're writing, when you're selecting your imagery, decide what kind of brand you are. Are you casual? Are you formal? Are you luxury? Are you family? And try and make sure your writing and your imagery reflect that. Yeah, tone of voice in images. So you can see the top one is more of a luxury type tone of voice. The bottom one is a bit wacky and fun with the dog at the party. And the one in the middle, kind of young, casual. All three are different, and you would not put these three together necessarily on a website unless you're trying to target all three markets, which I wouldn't recommend. So if you are a party venue, then the dog one and similar ones like that will probably be more suitable than, for example, the top luxury black tie kind of image. So again, in your imagery, decide what tone of voice you want to portray and select images that reflect this. Yeah, elements of a great tourism photo, make sure mostly it's high quality, good lighting, and also it's good to have people in there so that people can see themselves and think to themselves, oh gee, I'd like to be in that photo. So it's great to have shots of your venue or whatever, but it's also really good to have people in there doing something that other people would want to do, walking on the beach at sunset or riding a horse along the beach or, you know, sitting at a restaurant table or, you know, whatever you have, surfing in water that's not too deep, you know, whatever, you know your market. So people in your photos can really help, but make sure they're high quality and they're clear and they're sharp and they're easy to see. A couple of examples here. Okay, clear, sharp, high quality, and people having fun, aspirational. So this is aimed at a market that's after relaxation. This is aimed at one that's after adventure. Simplicity, and there's another one, clear, sharp, beautiful. So design is the other element. So our writing needs to be effective and with a clear call to action. Our imagery, it needs to reflect our tone of voice. Design is really good too because, again, readers will behave differently on the web than they will reading a brochure. They'll look for just the information they're interested in. That's called self-selecting. They don't scroll. They're impatient. They don't like changing screens. A whole bunch of things that how they behave differently. Mostly they'll be looking for visual cues for orientation. And the catch cry in what we call usability is don't make me think. So don't make your users think. Make it easy for them to find the deal and to redeem it once they come to your website. For example, consistency, very, very important to help users orient themselves from screen to screen. So this is an example of an organisation that took up a campaign deal way back last year, and their offer, which was great, was stay 3, pay 2 for $345, and that is what appeared in the campaign website. Okay, so that's a nice clear heading. Someone clicks on more info, we get stay 3, pay 2, and it's 4-star, enjoy 3 nights and only pay for 2 for $345 per person. So this is great. So someone's seen this, thought that looks like a good deal, clicked on more info, got more info that is consistent, clicked on book now or deal info, and then they've come through to this, which is Bayview Spa Suite, pay 2, stay 3. What happened to stay 3, pay 2 for $345? Now I know it seems like I'm nitpicking because the heading isn't exactly the same, but it's critical that it is. So consistency is really important because users, as I said, are mostly only half concentrating. They want things to stay the same, and if they're clicking through from screen to screen, this or even site to site, this is one screen, this is the next one, this is the next one. So 3 different screens you've asked them to click through. It needs to be consistent so they can orient themselves. They may or may not see this pay for 2 nights and stay for 3 here. what they'll see first is this. So make it the same as this and this, and anything else that you have, critical information needs to be expressed the same way. It would be great, and you notice that the image is also consistent, which is good, so they have got consistency in the imagery, but just make sure that people are not going to get a surprise and you're not going to make them think, am I in the right spot, is this the right deal, have I clicked on the right link? Make sure you reassure them all the way by being consistent. Similarly, this is a really good website, but when I clicked through from this great deal here, bonus family ice skating pass, rooms from 155 per room per night and receive. So here's a lovely value add, by the way, unlimited use of our Zone for Kids water park, 1 kids club session per child, bonus family part, so they've done a partnership as well. So this is a really great offer. They've discounted, yes, I think, but they've also put some really great value adds in here. So this is a really great example of value adds. But the other reason I'm showing it to you is that when you go click for details, it goes to the home page of the website and there's nothing about that deal on the home page when they get there. I would suspect the deal is here in number 2, and if you click on 2 you'll get it. But what you see from here, bonus family ice skating pass, is Heaven for Kids Paradise for Parents book now. It's not the same. And users will not go looking. They will not look for that deal. They would, highly unlikely, unless they're really, really motivated, and most of them aren't so much. So when you have your deal, make sure it's visible on the home page all the time. I know that many people don't necessarily have a lot of control over their homepage. Try not to send them to a homepage. If you can, try and send them to a landing page, an internal page in your site. If you do have to send them to your homepage, make the deal visible and make sure they can see it every time, not when this automatically changes and it comes up there, because they won't wait. So make sure they click through from here, they can find the deal somewhere here, even if you have to put it here. Preferably not to your homepage, but if you don't have any choice, try and make it visible when they click through. Where is the deal? Users will probably not search for it. Make it visible and make it consistent. Yeah. If you book the next campaign, I think Coronio is still handling sales, so you will likely get a Word document with a form that you put your deal wording in. The point I want to make about this is you only have 4 or 5 words to get your customer's attention, so make it relevant, enticing, compelling. And one of the ways I do this, little copywriter's tip, is to write down everything you can think of and then cull the words out until you get to 4 or 5 words, and make sure every single word counts a lot. With your short offer description, again, you only have 80 characters including spaces, so again, don't waste any word. Make it strong, make it compelling, make it clear, make it attractive. So I've just shown you an example here. This one, rooms from 155 per night for 2 adults, 2 children, unlimited water park, ice skating pass. So that's very clear what this deal is, and it's quite compelling. This one is okay. Enjoy a modern and spacious suite, including buffet breakfast for 2 for only 190. But they could have put so much more in this paragraph. Remember, you've only got 80 characters. If they'd taken out the things that are not critical, which is enjoy, to my mind, enjoy, and including, they could have just done bullet points like we've got over here, bed, breakfast and beer package from 180 a night, superior accommodation, buffet breakfast for 2 beer. Okay, so there's too many unnecessary words in here. It's all right, but it's just not quite as compelling as this, which is very direct, or this, which clearly lists what you get. So when you're doing your short offer description and your 80 characters, again, make every word count. Don't waste any words. There's no room to persuade people, really. It's all about communicating succinctly and clearly. And your full offer description, this gives full information and persuades potential customers to book, so it needs to be clear, compelling and persuasive, and again written for the web. For example, sharp, snappy, no wasted words or hype. You don't have to use bullet points. From $79 per person, specially includes forest view accommodation, bottle of wine on arrival, full breakfast included. That's very clear, it's very direct, there's no wasted words, and people can immediately see, and it's quite compelling, I would think, for that target market. So when you're writing your full offer description, by all means, write everything down. Again, you've only got about 70 words, so write everything down, take out your unnecessary words, see if you can put some bullet points in, edit, edit, edit until you can make it as short and compelling and succinct as possible. Read it over and think, where are the unnecessary words? Can I take that word out? Do I really need that word? Obviously make it legible and make it persuasive, but try to take out the words that you don't need and make it as compelling as possible by talking about the real things in the offer. Similarly with your print ads, so your heading needs to be clear, paragraph again quite limited characters, so no wasted words. Special deal or offer may or may not look like this, but if you get something like this, then that will be great to highlight. Clear and attractive. Remember, there's not a lot of room in a print ad, and so you want an image that is going to shrink down okay. So make sure that the image you select is going to look okay when it's quite small. And yeah, again, if possible, put the URL for your landing page, not your home page. Okay, so a little bit more on your website. What do I mean by that? Review your website for conversion. Start to think about things you can do here and now to improve your website to convert as we go through this section. You might want to jot down some ideas. I'm more than happy to talk to you afterwards too if you want some help. The main thing, as I said, try not to send them to your homepage, because your homepage is not meant for a sale. It's meant for other things. Tell people they're in the right place, showcase what else is in your site. It's not meant to actually make a sale, as opposed to a landing page, which is an internal page in your site that you would link to from your campaign, and that the primary purpose of that page is to convert, to make a sale. For example, this is a home page, which is very nice and very attractive and well designed. And it's got all the homepage features I would expect. So you've got a nice image, you've got the logo and the company name, tagline, you've got your navigation, you've got some words here for search and as a welcome message, you've got your booking button, and you do actually have an offer here. But the primary purpose of this page is not to sell, whereas this one is a landing page. There's no navigation anywhere. There's nowhere that to distract people. The imagery is very enticing. The offer is very, very clear. And here's the call to action. And here's the information in bullet points as to what the deal is all about. So this page is all about conversion. This one is about telling people, yes, you're in the right place. Here's what else is in my site. This one is about making the sale. Here's another one that's a landing page. Again, there's no navigation here. You don't have to take your navigation out, but try and keep it as clear as possible. Clear call to action. Luxurious, affordable flowers delivered regularly, starting at just $29, delivery is free shipping. You know, I'd have book now, buy now. They've got a less strong call to action. I'd have something a bit stronger. But the main point is it's very easy to find, it's very easy to see, and there's supporting information here for people who aren't quite ready to buy. So when you are setting up your deal, if you have control over your website, create a separate page called a landing page. Send people there, put a button in that links to your booking path or to your inquiry form. Don't send them to your home page if you can possibly avoid it. If you do have to send them to your home page, you haven't got any choice. Do what these guys have done and make it as visible as you can. I put this higher if you could. They might not be able to, so that people can at least find it if they click through. But this is better. This is a better option if you can manage it. Headline, landing page copy needs to get their attention. Welcome to the ride of your life. Subheadline, 2-for-1 special this Saturday. Must know the details of the offer. We cater for weddings, a night on the town, corporate transport and more. No job too small or too late. Prices from blah, limited offer. Nice to know stuff here. So this is the critical stuff. This is going to get their attention. This is going to reinforce the heading and keep them interested. This is the stuff they're looking for, and a very strong call to action. Call us now, 1-800 to book now, limited offer. So this is an example of great landing page copy. So when you're writing your landing page or designing your landing page, make sure it's got a strong heading that matches your ad. The secondary heading reinforces it and is consistent with your ad. This is the nitty-gritty, strong call to action. The other thing is your booking or inquiry form. Can they find it? How visible is it? Is it easy to use? If you're using one of the third-party booking systems, they are normally pretty good user-wise. If you have your own form, that's also fine. Make sure that it's clear and easy to use. And also, can they talk to someone? If they don't want to book straight away, can they ring you? So what I would do is when you're thinking about your campaign, you've decided on your target market, you've got your products together and you've decided on what you're going to offer and what you're going to value add and whether you're going to discount or whether you're going to add in some inclusions that would be attractive to your market. You've had a look at your website to see, okay, try and visualize to yourself, someone sees the ad on Tourism and Events Queensland website or Queensland Holidays, they click through, they come to my website, what are they going to see? Is it easy for them to book there? And if it's not easy for them to book, if they can't find the ad, if they can't book easily, if there's things in the way that are going to make them stop and think, then try and get them fixed if you can. And if you need advice on that, just ring me, email me, or Susan or Mirko. More than happy to help you at any time. That's our job. We can have a look at your website and tell you what we think and tell you what you could do to fix it if you're not sure. More than happy to do that. Okay, so we have decided on our market, our product and our offer. We've thought a bit about what we're going to say in the ad and on the landing page and what images we're going to use. We've had a look at our website and made sure there aren't any roadblocks in the way so that they can convert. Now there's some options for you to also use your own marketing efforts and budget to drive traffic, because it's good not to just rely on the campaign, but to drive traffic through very easy, simple ways as well. So, firstly, this was the URL for the campaign that we did in summer, and it might be different, this campaign. I'm not sure what it will be, but this will be the campaign URL. But what I would do for your website, especially if you have a landing page, which would be great, is have your web address as www.yourwebsite.com.au/ whatever the campaign name happens to be, so that people can find, if it's winter campaign or spring campaign, I don't know what they're going to call it, but try and put it in here and ask your hosting service or your web development company to redirect any traffic that comes through here to the actual real page that it should be. And tell them a 301 redirect is what we want. They'll know what that is. Make sure they do it and not any other strange kind of redirect. That's to avoid you getting blacklisted or listed as a spammer or whatever. So it's really good to have this on all of your collateral, and if you're going to do some marketing as well. Your website address, so johnstours or something.com.au/summer campaign. So create a campaign name, and then you could choose to perhaps back up the deal on other channels. If you have email in place, mention it in your email or do an email blast. If you already have social media, of course, mention it on social media, tweet about it, put it up on YouTube or Pinterest. Make sure your website is optimized for the campaign name, at least with search engine optimization, and you might also want to consider some search engine marketing, buying some searches and some keywords and advertising on Google or Bing or Yahoo. Now, all of these things, we have webinars, we have workshops, we have one-on-one sessions, we have phone sessions. If you're not sure how to do it for your campaign or even at all, again, do feel free to get in touch with us. We're more than happy to help you put together a good advertising and social media campaign to back up your campaign that you might be doing. Alternatively, there's a huge amount of information, recorded webinars, recorded workshops, lots of stuff on the Digital Ready website. So have a look there if you'd rather just kind of work it out on your own and see if there is anything there that might be of interest. But there's a wealth of information to help you, firstly, decide on platforms that you might want to use to reinforce your campaign, and secondly, to help you implement it. Because the campaign website will attract a certain visitation, but there, your market, and there may be people in your market that may not visit the campaign website, and they might be more likely to visit your website. You might already have a relationship with them, or there might be existing customers you're trying to win back or whatever, and they may not come to the full campaign website. They might be more likely to just visit yours, and so it's really good if you have the time and spend a little bit of budget, and it doesn't need to be expensive. It can just be, $20 a week or something, to just back up the campaign deal and make sure that you're also driving traffic as well as the campaign website. So as I said, we have a wealth of information on the Digital Ready website on how to do that, but if you want individual help, give us a ring, send us an email. I'm more than happy to help you. Yep, email marketing, I will, in the interest of time, because we're going to run out of time otherwise, yeah, it's still good to do, and there is information on email marketing. We can help you. If you have an email database, maybe send out to them what we call a soulless send, so just an offer to your database. Or if you have a regular newsletter, just mention the campaign special that you're doing, special offer, and the link to book. Yep. Search engine optimization. So you would want to make sure that your website is optimized for the keywords for the campaign, so maybe the campaign title, the deal, that sort of thing. Don't forget, yep, search engine marketing. So this, if you're not sure, this is search engine marketing. This is paid here and here, so you can actually buy this space. And this is search engine optimization. This is nominally free, although it does cost time and effort. But you could just buy space here if you wanted to, and to back up your campaign. And again, we can help you with that if you need assistance setting that up or along the way, more than happy. And obviously social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, whatever social media channels you have, generate a buzz, promote your deal and link it to your landing page. Now again, if you want some help with that, how to word your Facebook posts or how often to tweet or what's a good image for Pinterest or whatever, again, feel free to hop onto the Digital Ready website and have a look, or get in touch with us, more than happy to help you with that. And the other thing you could consider doing, again, there's a webinar on this that you can have a look at in your own time if you want to, is actually, as well as posting on your Facebook page, maybe buying some advertising as well. Again, that can be very effective, quite low cost. You could perhaps buy some Facebook ads and see how that goes. And the only other thing to talk about briefly is measurement. Now again, there's a whole webinar or series of webinars on measuring stuff, so I'll just touch on it briefly, why it's important. It's important so that you can make sure you're spending your money and effort wisely. Make sure that the campaign worked for you. For the amount that you invested in the campaign, whatever it was, did you get your money back? And of course with digital you can measure everything, and so you could get quite a useful report at the end of your campaign to see what your return on investment was for the money that you spent on the campaign, how many bookings did you get out of it. AT2W also gives you reports. They'll report on traffic to your listing and your website, but you can also use your own site analytics. So if you have them connected, Google Analytics, you can use your own Facebook insights, your own YouTube insights. If you're doing email, there's metrics on that. All of these are measurable, and you should be able to get reports that will tell you how much traffic you got, of the traffic that you got, how much of it actually bought something, and that is really what we want to know, because at the end of the day we're about conversion, aren't we? About sales, conversions, yep. So the things to ask, did your campaign generate leads? Did those leads convert? If not, do you know why? And of course, what could you do differently next time? So it's not to get the report and say, well, that didn't work. It's to get the report and say, okay, what did we learn from this? And what will we do differently next time? What could we do better? So this is an example of a campaign report that you would receive from TEQ, and it will give you the number of clicks to your official website URL, 128, number of clicks to your website deal page, and the number of email inquiries, so 136 leads in total, and you could match that with your booking information at that time to see, of those 136 inquiries, how many of them actually booked. Okay, it was 20 or 5 or 100, okay, and you can make some decisions based on that as to what you might do the same or differently next time. Again, more information, training and coaching on measuring. There's workshops and webinars, there's mentoring, there's phone and email coaching, and there's heaps of stuff on the Digital Ready website if you want help with how to measure your campaign and how to interpret the reports that you got. Yep, this is just an example of your site analytics. What I would be doing is looking for, as a referring site here, I'd be looking for whatever the campaign URL was, and it might be this or it might be something different, I don't know, but Coronio would be able to tell you what the URL is going to be. I'd be looking for the campaign URL in here. So this is a list of sites that have driven traffic to this website. There's Facebook, that's just Twitter, there's Hootsuite, there's mobile Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Triber, there's Google+, there's LinkedIn, and Paperly, there's a Pinterest, and there's touch screen LinkedIn, so that's probably a smartphone, and there's mobile Twitter. So these are the sites that are driving traffic to this site. You could look at your Google Analytics in your website and look for this URL or this site name, and if it's up the top here, then clearly you're doing a great job of driving traffic. If it's a bit further down, then maybe that's something that you could learn from for next time, maybe do it differently next time, and again, we're more than happy to help you with advice on that. Yeah, so with AdWords, clicks to conversion, of the 100 clicks I got 20 views, and that translated to 5 sales. So what did each of those cost me? Can I do it better next time? And of course your customer service channel. Lastly, what else do you need to do? Make sure, I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but we do hear horror stories. Your phone, people that are answering the phone, people that are emailing customers, reception, make sure everybody knows the deal is on. Because we've heard horror stories of, for example, a company working with a wholesaler took 2 years to establish the relationship and get it started. The wholesaler rang and talked about the deal. They hadn't briefed the staff. The staff member said, "Oh no, we don't discount that much," and hung up on them. And they were a very big wholesaler, and so that was the end of the deal. 2 years' work down the drain. So make sure that everybody is across this deal. They know when it's happening. They know what it is. They know what the discounts are. Whether or not you have a weekly or daily meeting, or a bulletin board, or a daily sheet, or some kind of mechanism to let everybody know. Yeah, brief all your staff about deals. Okay, so that's the end of our webinar now, and sorry I had to rush a bit at the end, but I'm more than happy to take questions, and as I said, more than happy for you to get in touch with me, Jane, or Susan and Mirko if they're in the office to help you with your campaign. But anyway, so now we know how to understand the Australian digital landscape, we understand a bit more about market segmentation and how to define our market, effective campaign copywriting and imagery, thinking critically about your website and online marketing, and how and why to measure your campaigns, and some basic online measurement tools. So hopefully we've given you some tools and some thoughts to, if you decide to take up the next campaign and invest in it, to make it as effective as possible, from your writing, from your imagery, through to your website and redemption and booking channels, and then to supporting the campaign with your own marketing efforts as well. Don't forget, we have the Tourism E-Kit, we have the Big Marketing Guide, the TEQ Resource Centre and the Better Business Guide. These are all on the TEQ website, masses of resources to help you with your marketing and business. TEQ Digital Ready program has workshops, mentoring, our coaching service, and of course webinars that we're more than happy to help you with at any time. Coming up next week, Ben, the best job in the world, Ben Southall, our famous Ben, is going to show you how to create shareable videos. I'll be hosting that one for him, and he will be talking to you about his experience creating shareable videos. If you have a Vimeo or a YouTube account and you want some help with that, he's going to help you with that. Then 29th of October, me again, the measurement webinar, so a bit more expansion on the measurement stuff that I touched on today. 5th of November, we will hopefully have a guest presenter from Instagram on how to use Instagram for your business. And 12th of November, me again, writing for the web. A lot more detail on those things I briefly touched on today, how to write effective web copy, both for your website and for your campaigns. There is the link to register. If you're interested in registering for any of those, please do click on it, and or you can just go straight to the Digital Ready website and click on the link to webinars and register there. Thank you everyone for attending and sticking with me. This was a bit of a data dump today. I know it's a lot of information, but thanks for staying on the line, and I'm more than happy to stay here now for about 5 or 10 minutes if anybody has any questions they'd like answered now. Alternatively, if you do have to go, type your question if you have one into the question pane, and I'll get back to you, or someone will, this afternoon or tomorrow. I'm Jane. It's been lovely sharing a webinar with you today. Thanks everyone, and see you later. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Thanks all.